Does it sometimes feel like everything on your to-do list is your number one priority? Welcome to Living Forward TV, where we have honest, meaningful, and fun conversations about business success, lifestyle design, and more importantly, the mindsets, the decisions, and the actions that make it happen. Today, I want to help you get back control of your to-do list so that you can get back to creating your ideal days. You know, as entrepreneurs, we have so much on our plates, and we oftentimes find ourselves shorthanded with many conflicting deadlines and priorities. And to let even one of those slip can, quite frankly, feel like we're just letting cash go right out the door. And it doesn't get any easier, does it? Because that list just keeps growing and growing and growing. And just the very existence of that list can create a lot of overwhelm. It can stress us out, and that will block your creativity, your productivity, your decision making, and ultimately your action taking. That's why it's so important to really get a handle and feel confident about all the things you need to do. But the question is, when you have so much that you know needs to be done, is like, where do I begin? I want to share with you a life and business changing question that a mentor once asked me, and it changed my business, and I know if you apply it, it will change yours. That question is, what's the one thing that you can do first, such by doing it, everything else becomes easier? Now, when she asked me that question, I thought she was crazy. I just said to her, everything has to be done first. Thankfully, she was a really good mentor, and she talked me off the ledge, and we brain dumped, and we found my one thing, and she was right. Everything else became easier. I'd like to share with you an example of how I use this with my clients to inspire you to do the same thing if you're feeling overwhelmed. I think of one particular client that had come to me. She was brand new in business, and this was going to be her only source of income. So you can imagine how important it was for her to get cash in the door. However, she was completely overwhelmed. She had marketing. She was trying to design a website. She was working on her programs and her packages. She had to determine pricing. She was setting up payment gateways. She was looking at networking and social media. There was just so much to do that she was beyond overwhelmed. Now, if you were to look at her and ask her, what's your one thing, she rightfully would have said, cash in the door. Now, that was her number one priority, but it wasn't her number one thing she needed to do. And why is that? Well, quite frankly, that entire list was not doable if she didn't have anything to sell. So we decided that her one thing was going to be to finalize her programs and her packages. And it was really scary for her to make that decision to take an entire week out of her schedule and just focus on completing her packages. But once she did that, she created a domino effect of productivity, because now she had something to price, she had something to talk about, she had something to market, she had something to sell. So you see, sometimes when you have so much going on and it all feels like a priority, it's because there's one thing that needs to be done that will allow you to do everything else sequentially. I'd like to challenge you today, if you're feeling overwhelmed, to just brain dump. Whatever's in your head, take it and brain dump it. Write it on a piece of paper and get it all out. And then have a look at that list. And leave me a comment below and let me know, once you've gone through that list, what's your one thing, such by doing it, that everything else becomes easier. If you found this valuable, subscribe to my channel, and of course, share this with somebody who you know needs the information. I'd also love to welcome you to my community at Living Forward. Hop on over to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and I'll catch you on the next episode.